Welcome back, everybody, to Five's a Crowd, the show where we talk about things that happen in our lives and why we're friends still today against all odds. Guess you had to be there. Anyways, it is the month of October, the National Scare Month, one of the best months in this Gregorian calendar. And so I think it's just befitting that we start talking about things that scared us. I mean, it's the month of scare. It all started when we were children. Everyone's afraid of everything when they were kids. I was a scaredy pants.
You still are.
Shut your mouth.
Who doesn't run up the stairs after turning the lights on?
Yeah. Who doesn't jump to their bed from the doorway afraid of something grabbing them?
And then has the dream that you can't get up the stairs.
Oh,
wait, what? Dreams that you can't get up the stairs?
Oh, you never had that?
No.
It's chasing you up the stairs?
honestly,
Are you on like an escalator?
So, like
A reverse one?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I used to have this dream when I was a kid that I would run up the stairs and something was behind me. Either it was the basement was flooding, or there were snakes, or there were spiders.
Oh,
and I was trying to run up the stairs and I couldn't. It was like I kept getting stuck to each step more and more, and I couldn't run up the stairs.
You know what that's called? Nightmare fuel. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. It's in the first
podcast
Nightmare
brought
on
to you
Elm
by-
Street. Have you seen Nightmare on Elm Street? Isn't it in the first one? I don't know. I've never seen that.
Dude, I haven't either.
Where she's trying to run from
Yeah,
Freddy Krueger
and
going
then,
up
like,
the
her
stairs,
feet
and the
sink in the
stairs
stairs.
start to turn to mush,
Oh,
and
yeah.
and it's like walking through wet cement type thing.
Somebody must have had my experience and put it in a movie.
Yep.
That was it. Someone listened to you tell
had
mom
that.
about
I
your
thought
nightmare.
everybody's had that dream.
No.
No, dude.
I've had the dreams where you can't like run, like
Yeah.
you're trying to run as quick as you can, and your body just won't do it.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were
No.
asking me something.
I was like, rope it back in. We were going there.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, when I was a kid, I had severe night terrors, like full on night terrors, and a lot of those stemmed from just like scary movies. I just remember some movies that I didn't even watch. Okay, I'll start this off with Chucky. Screw Chucky. Screw that guy. Like that, I saw a preview of it when I was a child. Didn't even watch the movie. It scared me so bad that I had nightmares for like a month about that stupid little redheaded doll. Yeah. Still have never watched the movies.
So is that why you're afraid of like mannequin heads, or is that
I think that is I think that is a huge part of why I hate dolls so much. Because then after that, you guys remember Goosebumps?
Yeah.
Great show, but they had that freaking ventriloquist dummy.
Yeah.
Night of the Living Dummy.
Oh my gosh, that guy was terrifying.
Yeah.
How do kids watch that crap?
I was that kid.
See, and I did too, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because it was so scary. It was so real.
Yeah.
Like, what is one of the scariest movies you guys ever watched?
Well, like as a kid, I was probably too young to fully understand what was going on. But I remember we were up camping, so it made it even worse. But we watched The Howling, if you've ever seen it. It's about a werewolf. Oh my gosh. I dreamt about werewolves still. Oh my gosh. Now it's kind of fun. It fuels that fear fire. But as a kid, werewolves terrified me. And so, yeah, on the Goosebumps thing, then there was, what was it, Fever? Or no, the camp one.
The camp one where it's a 2-part episode.
Yeah.
And it turns out in the second one, they weren't even on Earth. Do you remember that?
Oh, no.
There's the monster. And the monster was like a machine.
Oh.
They drove the machine, but it was a werewolf, the front half of a werewolf.
Yeah. That one, and then there was one actually about a werewolf, I want to say. And then even the X-Files. I watched the X-Files. There was a werewolf episode of the X-Files. Oh, man.
I could never make it past the intro to X-Files to even begin watching the X-Files.
I love the
That intro creeped me out enough. I was like, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I forgot about X-Files.
Dude, I remember
the
watch
X-Files?
Wait,
it.
hold up. Did you guys hear that they're supposed to be rebooting the X-Files?
Oh, they
think
did
they
it a
did.
while ago.
Oh, JK, I'm behind the times.
There's an X-Files where there's like a swarm of bugs that would petrify people. Have you seen that one?
No.
It put them in a cocoon and petrify them. I was scared of bugs for a little bit because of that.
See, for me, it was always just creatures. So werewolves was always a big one because that was kind of the big thing then. But like again on X-Files, there was that sewer creature that it was like skinless and white, and it had that like round mouth with the teeth, and that scared the crap out of me too.
Going off onto that, Cam already pointed at me. He knows exactly where I'm going to go. This is actually the very first thing listed on my notepad.
It's so scary.
Growing up, there was this stupid show called Ghost Rider. It was this little tiny animated circle dot thing that would just bounce around the screen and talk to teenagers.
And it was Rider spelled W-R-I-T-E-R.
Yes.
Ghost Writer.
Yeah, Ghost Writer.
Yeah.
I should pronounce that better. And there was one Halloween special episode that involved this guy called Slimer?
I can't remember his name.
I just from Ghostbusters.
No. Oh yeah, you're right. Yes.
I vividly see his face.
Yes.
But I can't remember. It was like Mr. Ooze, maybe? Or is
No,
that
that's Power Rangers.
What was his dang name?
Either way,
Booger.
it's this little tiny purple monster looking dude who looks like chewed up gum / a bunch of labia stacked.
You're not wrong.
And
Did I just hear that right?
you heard that right. And he's wearing black leather jacket and maybe some pants.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, is he wrong?
No.
I remember that guy.
I do not remember that at all.
It was called Attack of the Slime Monster.
Attack of the Slime. I was close with
Not
Slimer.
very creative. But
I remember that guy. Yeah. That thing haunted me. I saw that episode. That show alone scared me more than any other horror film that I'd ever seen to date. And in that episode, I for whatever reason, I remember they hucked water on him. Or maybe it was something else, and he grew.
yeah,
like
he got
10 times
to
bigger.
A normal adult thing and was picking up these kids and taking them.
And it was terrifying. That thing scared me so bad I couldn't sleep for weeks.
And this was not like a high budget show. This was a very dinky kid
was
show.
on PBS.
It was on PBS.
Yes.
It was public access television.
Wow.
Yeah, that thing haunted me. Honestly, if I were to rewatch that, it might strike a deep chord and still scare me.
Dude,
I just saw that thing and got creeped out though, because I forgot.
No.
That was putting back in the mind. Thank you for bringing that back up.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
You're lucky to have forgotten about it.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Tell me that doesn't look like a bunch of labia stacked.
That looks like a hemorrhoid.
probably.
It's got teeth.
Dude, that was so creepy.
By the way, this may not be family friendly.
A little late on the...
Too late.
We'll throw that in at the beginning. No, on a like non-scary, but still like childhood, one of my absolute favorites that I would say got me into like the horror scene big time was Monster Squad. You guys ever seen the Monster Squad?
It seems familiar.
So it's I always compare it to like the Goonies, but instead of treasure hunting, they have to defeat Dracula, the Wolfman, like all the classic monsters and stuff. And but it's like a bunch of kids and stuff. And oh man, I highly, highly recommend it. I mean, it's early 90s, so I mean, you know, give it some credit there, but it was fantastic. I love it. It's still one of my favorites. Got me into all the I think I was Dracula for probably 3 or 4 years in a row for Halloween after seeing that. I loved it.
I got thrown to the wolves in the scary movie thing.
What do you mean?
My cousin, we were like 7 or 8, and his parents would let him rent movies. They didn't care. My parents were very strict on which movies I could watch. We were having a sleepover, and everybody went to bed, and we're sitting there, and he throws on Alien. That's like my first like real
Introduction.
horror movie.
That's like high production.
Yeah. And we watch Alien, and I just remember the thing sucking to the face and the mouth coming out and all that.
That scene in the tunnel when they're like when they're seeing the dots and they're like, it's right on you, and he turns around with the flamethrower and it's right there. Oh my gosh, I crap my pants.
What are they called?
Just literally now he did.
I gotta say, in my childhood, I was weird in that those high production-y, even like the thrillers, like The Alien, those never scared me. It was always just like, I don't know why.
It was always the dinky ones.
It really truly was.
So
I
true.
remember on like my 12th or 13th birthday, I had a camp out in my parents' backyard, and all I wanted was to watch a scary film with my friends out in the tent. So my dad ran electrical power out there, had the VCR, the TV stacked on it, and I was like, what's the scariest film we can watch? And I just remember my mom saying that when she was pregnant with me, she watched It, and it scared her to death. Like it was like the worst mistake she'd ever made, because my dad like left on work something, or like a work vacation thing, and she was left in this house all by herself, pregnant with me.
And that's the night Austin was born.
And I was like, I want to get so scared like my mom did. So we're going to watch that. And I remember watching it, and I'm like, this is the dumbest show I have ever
That
seen.
original It movie was not.
The old
It
one,
was so bad.
It was like it had some creepy moments, but yeah, like
It was suspenseful, though.
It was very
There was
suspenseful.
suspense on it. That's what they
and
had to
Tim
go on.
Curry he's just a scary dude.
I may need to watch it again, but I remember at the very end there was some sort of weird thing where it turned into a spider.
Yeah, it's not scary.
Yeah.
Or something, and you're like looking at it
ended
like,
terribly.
what is this crap?
Well, the climax was horrible on it, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the scene in It versus the new one with Georgie, like that scene,
Georgie.
that scene in the first one versus the new one,
Like when he's in the gutter.
yes, that was a eerie, creepy, like pedophile-ish like
No,
scene.
you're
You know
so
what I mean?
true.
It was more creepy than the newer one where his arm gets ripped off.
Oh, the newer one was terrifying.
Yeah.
That guy freaking moving his eyes the way he did.
Yeah.
He did that for real. That was not like effect. That was that dude's eyes.
either. I
Kind
don't
of sound like
Me too.
Scooby-Doo
It
on
did
that
sound
one.
like But speaking of Tim Curry, it gave me this memory of this super random TV show that my family was into. It was called Earth 2.
Huh.
I don't know if I'd
like
be surprised.
Earth number 2?
Yeah, number 2. I'd be surprised if any of you ever saw it. The premise, it was a sci-fi show, but the premise was that the Earth was polluted and they had to leave it. So they got on a spaceship and they found another planet that was just like the Earth. But when they got there were these creatures, and they almost looked like mummies in a way, but they were like these sand mummy things, and they would straight up like come shooting out of the dirt and like take this little kid and like pulled him into the dirt with them, like into their freaking lair.
Sounds familiar.
Dude, I was so freaking scared. And Tim Curry was in it, and he played the bad guy, but you didn't know he was the bad guy. He was one of the crew, but secretly he was
Thanks
the
for
bad guy.
ruining it.
Bro, this TV show was out in the 90s, and I think they canceled
Statute
it
of
after,
limitations is gone.
yeah, it's over.
You have
Speaking
plenty
of
of time
which-
to see it.
What is the statute of limitations? Like, when we talk movie spoilers,
I think if the movie ever made it to TV, it's long past being
That's a
like,
valid.
right.
rule.
You can definitely spoil it.
okay. Like, I don't. What's the basic time frame for that? Because I have no idea.
I think it's like
No.
Is that 2
Is
years?
there even
that's like
TV?
no, that's like 3 or 4 years.
Is there
like,
even
that's
TV anymore?
That's like I don't even know if they put movies on TV.
Nowadays they make movies just
Look,
for TV.
If it shows up on Netflix, you got a week to watch it.
So was those creatures like in a desert type scene?
Yes.
Never going to the desert again.
yeah, no, dude, they would just shoot up, grab them, and pull them down. Oh, ooh.
I love Tremors.
We watched that.
Oh my gosh, that was
movie's
one of
so
my
good.
favorites.
Yeah.
So good,
Tremors
so
was-
scary, but so good.
It wasn't really even scary. It's more so like thrill.
No, that's what I'm
remember-
saying. Like scary in the way that I didn't want to stand on the ground.
No, I remember playing, like, while other kids were playing The Floor is Lava, I played Tremors.
That just
That's
popped in
way
my head.
more realistic.
I watched that as a kid, and it was on TV when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I watched it.
Well, that
That's
came
when I
out in the
watched it,
80s,
too.
didn't
Yeah.
it?
When they lift up the hat and there's a face under there, that when the guy would just terrifying.
Dude, talk about the weird things that just like stay with you.
Yeah, like that scene with the hat, lifting up the hat, and you just see like a shriveled up piece of leather. You know what I mean? As a face. But it's like white. That like image still is
Yep.
stuck.
Do you have stuff that, like, scared you as a kid or whatnot, and then you happen to come across it, you go back and watch it, and you're like, What? That's
Like,
not
man, I'm
scary
such
at
a
all.
pansy.
I'm
Yes.
trying to think.
I'm not very.
But then I have stuff that scared me as a kid, and I'm like, ugh, that's still creepy.
That's true.
I'm not huge into the horror scene movie thing though.
Well,
So what movies scared you as a kid that weren't supposed to be scary?
Didn't you say something about Fern Gully?
Fern Gully scared me.
that
Fern Gully
pollution
scared me.
It had like scary
Even
moments.
though Bat was off.
That was Robin Williams.
That was
though.
Ron Williams.
It
could be
was,
off.
but the
He
Bat was
was
still
off,
off a little
Wow.
bit.
No, it actually, if you go back and listen to his song, it talks about how the Bat character was experimented on
Yeah.
by a freaking laboratory,
Yeah.
and there's all this crazy stuff they did to him. This was a children's show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very, very deep. I went back and watched it
Yeah.
like with my kids, and I was like, wow, this is like, yeah, it's deep.
Yeah.
Isn't
Did you
that
ever-
weird how you can watch something as a kid and it goes right over your head, but then you go back as an
Yeah.
adult and you're like,
Yep.
holy crap.
Just
It's like
when,
multi-level, like
I
multifaceted.
watched this?
Yeah.
My parents let me watch this?
Did you ever watch its live action though?
I
No.
hated live
Avatar?
action. Oh.
Oh. Yeah.
Avatar is 100% live action Fern Gully.
If they would have added the pollution guy in Avatar,
Light bulb.
instant horror movie.
That never clicked till just now.
Yep. I remember seeing it. I was like, I've seen this before. It's like familiar.
But yeah, the pollution monster, because he just didn't give to like this evil dude.
I vividly remember him like he like came out of a tractor or something, and he was going like through the gears of the tractor. Do you remember it? And he was like singing his creepy ass song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was getting like sucking on
Sucking on the exhaust pipe.
tubes
Yeah.
and like getting bigger.
He actually made that exhaust look kind of appetizing.
You're out front just
Isn't
sucking
there,
on
like
your
he kills a
dad's
tree too,
exhaust.
like creeps through a tree?
Yep.
No, he's trapped in
Yeah,
the tree.
that's what it is.
where he came
Yeah.
from. They cut him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of that, I have to say, and I mean, I'm outnumbered here easily, I would imagine, but I absolutely hate and do not understand the fandom behind Nightmare Before Christmas.
Get out.
There.
I am right there with
I'm
you.
with you too.
Get out.
You're the minority.
Oh, I am not the minority this round.
Tony and
Now,
Zach are the minority on
Here's the thing. I remember watching that show in my grandma's loft with my sisters, and I could not watch it. It gave me the EB creepy
Heebie-jeebies.
vibe. Yeah, exactly, down to my core. And to this day, I still cannot watch
It's like watching a Tool music video.
it. It's like,
Oh,
It's like-
speaking of terrifying.
yeah, it's like nails on a chalkboard
Yeah.
to my spine and my soul simultaneously.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'll take that further, make it more controversial.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand. I'm gonna say it, guys. I don't understand the fandom behind Tim Burton.
Yes!
100%. I'm out.
I'm out.
Welcome to Three's a Crowd.
I mean, I there are movies of his that I enjoy, but I don't enjoy all of them.
I can just tolerate them though. That's the thing. There's like
Yeah.
ones I can tolerate.
See, this is where my love for like Halloween comes in, because I feel like Tim Burton, if you
Tim Burton is Halloween.
like, if
Halloween's a holiday. Zach.
Well, take a breath. Take a breath.
Yeah, I mean, all worked up.
No,
now.
no.
Tim Burton is an artist in his own way. I mean, if you compare him to Michael Bay, like Michael Bay is the king of explode. No, listen.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I mean this in like Michael Bay is the king of explosions.
Yes.
If you want an action movie with lots of explosions, Michael Bay.
Yes.
If you want dark, twisted, kind of like what
Little
the hell is
effed up.
going on, Tim Burton. Like I don't know.
Not right. in
Something
the
I don't
head.
know if you
Not
should
right
see.
in the head. Like
You
I
guys
just
have
can't-
to admit, though, he can do it right as far as like some of his
What's
Disney,
right?
his
He's
Disney
definitely-
remakes and stuff. Alice in Wonderland.
Oh my goodness, Dumbo.
I could not watch Dumbo because he made it.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I
You
couldn't
could tell.
I was like,
That was the only reason
I'm
I
good.
could watch it.
You're right.
he
Well,
makes-
no, I
don't know.
loved the first one, like the animated one, and the remake was 10 times better.
And I
Oh my
hated
goodness.
the animated one.
I
to
was like,
begin
I didn't
with.
know people like that movie.
I do. I like Dumbo.
Speaking of
I
like,
couldn't like Dumbo because it made me too sad. Like, I didn't like how they treated that poor little elephant. Maybe
All I know is I watched the movie maybe once, and I had this stupid Disney book that my dad would read me a story to, and it had Dumbo in it. I'd make him skip the Dumbo story every time.
Dad, this
about
is
a
dumb
horror story.
Whoa.
And then when we went to Disneyland, there was a Dumbo ride, and I wrote it, but I hated it just because.
Hated every minute of it.
Stupid elephant.
No, see,
So real quick though, bringing it back to Nightmare Before Christmas, just to stay on like
I love it. Yes, go.
so that
No,
one
you
I
don't
felt
love it,
like
but
was
yes.
so unique because you can watch it literally for Halloween and Christmas.
But you don't need to.
Or you can watch it for neither.
or just skip it all together.
I do have to say, it does give a unique storyline and plot. I will give
Clever.
it that.
It's very clever.
If you're into that creepy, tingly, nail scratchy,
The sack dude
Make
was
me
full of
shiver.
bugs.
The boogeyman.
Oogie
Yeah.
Boogie, I
Hated
cannot.
that guy. Hated it.
You know what though? Even more
And those
so,
children
I
were
hated the children.
They were demonic.
Lock, stock, and barrel.
All I know, he does do what he does extremely well. And for that, I will give him credit, but I do not.
His creativity
understand
with
it.
Not
what
that
he
it'll-
wanted to do. Finding, yeah.
He's in a unique, weird, creepy place that most people can't get to. I'll give him that.
So sorry, just real quick, not that it'll make you like the movie, but if you really like research that movie and the time and effort and everything that went into it, it broke records as far as that claymation and how many, like, what do they call it, like shots of
Frames per second.
Yes, it.
Complete waste of time.
They've got a world record on a complete waste of time.
Coming from the guy who doesn't even like movies.
I enjoy good movies.
Because he watched Nightmare Before Christmas and he was done.
I feel like I'm in my other podcast right now.
That's what I'm kind of
We're
thinking.
not making fun of you.
Hey, I never once said you're stupid.
Okay.
It's true. Just your
Appreciate it.
choice.
But you're not letting us have an opinion about the movie.
Oh no!
Go right
You guys
ahead.
have
Go
an
right ahead.
opinion. 1,000% you have an opinion.
You have an opinion.
But we
and
don't agree with it.
But we do too.
I totally understand that what he does is done really well for his audience.
Yeah.
That I am just not part of that.
Yeah,
audience.
you can literally say this about anything.
Yes,
Anything
sure.
that has a following,
Yeah.
there's people outside of that go, I don't understand why there's a following.
Well,
Like
I respect
Nickelback.
what he does. Well, he found. Listen.
Hey, we went to that concert.
Hey,
and it was
I
great.
love Nickelback.
With Tim Burton, he found it's a true he found himself and he was able to market and do good things with what he wants to do for himself, and I respect that.
And he has built,
I think-
not only that,
An empire.
but an empire
Yeah,
on
yeah.
He has an empire.
I'm with Austin in the sense of his movies give me the heebie-jeebies, but not in a way that I like it.
Exactly.
It makes me
It literally makes my soul feel heavy.
See, and
Although
that's-
wait, did
It's
he
like
do?
watching domestic abuse
Yes.
to me. Honestly,
No, I get
the
that. I
feeling
get
that
that.
you get watching it. Yeah.
It's
Wait,
like Dad
how
just
much-
slapped Mom at the dinner table,
Yes.
and you're like,
We're all trying to
I
eat
don't
still.
feel good.
Yeah.
Wait, did he?
My opinion. Strictly my opinion.
Did
That's
he
how I
do?
feel
Did he
about
do
that.
Sleepy Hollow?
yes.
I loved Sleepy Hollow.
He also did.
I thought that was a really good movie.
He also did Batman, Beetlejuice,
Well, I know he did Batman, but I still
Which
haven't
Batman?
watched Batman.
the
and
original
Batman
Michael
Returns.
Keaton,
with
Batman
Michael Keaton.
Returns.
Yeah.
The first Batman, with Danny DeVito as Penguin.
Yes.
Okay.
He did those ones.
And Jack
I
Nicholson
probably
is Joker.
hated that one because of Penguin. I'm not gonna lie, Danny
Dude,
DeVito
Penguin
back
was
then
super
creeped
creepy.
me
Penguin was
out.
in the second one.
Back then, Danny DeVito's still
Batman
creepy.
Returns.
Yeah, but at least I understand him
He's
now.
he's like an amoeba. He just morphs around.
Yeah.
But he's the same shape.
No,
The black spit
but
and
it's not a
everything.
normal
And he
shape.
doesn't
I
age.
didn't like the black spit. I didn't like
Yeah.
the black spit and all that.
What was Tim Burton's first movie?
His first one?
Was it first big box office hit or whatever? Was it Batman?
His first big
No,
one.
his first big one was actually an animated short called Frankenweenie. No, it wasn't animated. It was a live action
Ew.
short called Frankenweenie.
Gross.
That was his first.
That was a
I feel
Disney
like that
movie.
came out
that
way
was his.
after.
I think that was his big.
I thought Frank and
think
Weenie
that put
came
him
out
that came after
too. Maybe that was
Batman and
remastered?
all that.
It might
Because I remember it came out after Nightmare Before Christmas because I saw that creepy ghost dog.
But there was an old one, an old Disney movie that was called Frankenweenie.
Yeah, that's
That's what you're talking about.
No, I see.
it's that live action black and white.
My son
with
can't
Shelley
watch that.
Duvall.
live action black and white.
You know, I gotta say, and I don't know if this is 100% true because I haven't seen it myself, but there's a film that he made where they have buttons for eyes.
Coraline. Did he make that?
Pee-wee's Big Adventures is
Pee-wee's,
first.
yeah.
Dude, talk about terrifying. That little psycho in a freaking suit riding his dumb bike with his dumb face and I hated him so
I never
much.
watched it.
Never watched it because I hated that guy.
Large Marge.
Oh my gosh.
Wait. I got something about this. So the Coraline. Someone was telling me that when you watch that show, kids at a young age don't understand the creepy, like their mind, their psyche does not see the creep in the buttons for the eyes.
Really?
So they don't see anything wrong. But as an adult, you see those buttons for eyes and it strikes like an inner chord and it makes it creepy. So it's like, it's that kind of genius where it's suitable for kids, but creepy AF for adults. And
That's
that,
not Tim Burton though.
oh, that's not? I thought that was Tim Burton.
No.
Who is
He
that?
might have like produced it or something. He didn't know.
But I feel like he
Corpse
does.
Bride.
He does do that. In his,
Did he do the Corpse Bride? Yeah,
Yes.
that's a messed up.
Yeah.
Corpse
Same
Bride.
thing.
I actually just watched that for the first time like a couple days ago.
And you loved it.
Yes, I did.
Of course.
Oh, it's such a creepy plot. Like trying to kill
She
this
did,
dude
bro.
to marry him.
There's an Avenged Sevenfold song puts a whole new spin on that movie.
Oh yeah.
But speaking of creepy, because talking about that, did he do Beetlejuice?
Yes.
Beetlejuice.
Hey guys.
I saw a glimpse. I don't know what happened because I never watched these movies. I saw clips of them, and they scared the crap out of me. The clip of the lady and her husband
Pulling
when
their
their faces are like super long. Stuck with me. Like I don't even know what it was. Their eyeballs were in their mouth, wasn't it? Okay.
One of them.
What the
he
fuck,
puts his
dude?
eyeballs on his fingers. She grabs her mouth, she opens it up all wide, and then she flicks her eyeballs out. They come popping up into her mouth. And then he grabs his nose, stretches it out, and then sticks his fingers in his eyes, and his eyeballs are on his fingers.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a great show.
Yeah, that was
My mind
fantastic.
can't
That came from
comprehend that stuff as
a
being-
sane person.
Okay.
They must have been on some heavy drugs.
No, it was
So-
just Tim Burton.
To throw
He
this
is a
in
walking drug.
in perspective, actually, Coraline was done by Henry Selick, who he directed James and the Giant Peach.
Oh,
That was
didn't
a
like
creep.
that
That
show
was
either.
And he directed, a lot of people don't know this, he directed Nightmare Before Christmas. Tim Burton was the writer and creator of Nightmare Before Christmas.
Okay.
But he did not direct
Just
it.
one
So-
messed up web.
Yep.
So
James
Henry
and the Giant
Selick is
Peach.
kind of in that messed up web with...
Yeah, that
And then
show
Danny
scared me.
Elfman's somehow thrown into the mix.
Yes.
Danny Elfman actually does a lot of music for a lot of movies.
In
More
fact-
than just Tim Burton.
Yes.
James and the Giant Peach. I think my parents made an exception to let us stay up and watch it, and I chose to go to bed at my bedtime. That movie, legitimate.
another
thought
one
in my head.
Claymation is just a step above dolls.
That movie creeped me out. I got to admit though, I did watch that movie all the way through. It didn't creep me out as hardcore as Nightmare Before Christmas, but I think the only saving grace for that show was that centipede guy. His little tiny comedic tidbits was like the saving grace that kept me through it.
He creeped me out too, though.
Like that scene where he's getting stretched by the thing, and all of a sudden he like hits that point where he thinks he's gonna die, and his back pops 100 times, and then you're like, "Oh, I could actually go for one of those."
Yeah, okay. I can give you that.
Dude, well, this just sparked another memory. Speaking of movies that I don't think should have been scary, but were kind of terrifying, do you remember All Dogs Go to Heaven?
Yes.
That movie.
That movie was weirdly dark.
You'll never go back.
I had dreams. Yes. That's on Netflix right now, and I went back and watched it with the kids and stuff, and it was funny. As a kid, I just saw the colors, and it was
Yes.
like it still creeped me out and stuff.
Weren't
And-
they-
but I was like so
smoking?
lost as far as plot line and everything.
Bulldog.
And now as an adult, I'm watching it going, oh my gosh, this is another one that I'm like, this is kind of deep again. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Deep, dark, twisted in a way.
Especially when he goes to, is it hell? When he goes to hell?
Yeah.
And it's like, and
So
the
all dogs
little
don't
like,
go to heaven.
Exactly.
and all the little demon dogs are like pulling on
Trying
him
to
and
rip
stuff.
him
and-
apart.
Yeah.
Yes, what the
I was like, oh my
dude,
god.
like even I just remember the animation and the coloring, like in certain parts, were just so dark and just weird looking.
Well,
Like,
I-
they make you feel weird.
I think the
crocodile.
animation back from our childhood, like that was the norm.
Some of it.
Because I just the other day I was like, oh, I'm gonna show Micah another Disney film. Let's throw on Hercules.
I love that
And
movie.
the beginning, dude, love it. But if you rewatch it as a dad,
Yeah.
you're like, what is going on?
That and the Hunchback of Notre Dame too.
That one's weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
That one. Sorry.
No, you're good. Anyway,
But no, so on that again. So in that same vein as like All Dogs Go to Heaven, Five Goes West,
Yes.
hated it. The one,
yes,
is it
I agree. We actually
the
had this
freaking-
conversation the other day.
rat, dude.
Yes.
At the end when they're trying to chase away the cats and they build that monstrous rat.
On a mousetrap.
Do you remember that?
That's not Fievel Goes West.
Or it's the second one. There's
Five
two
Goes
Five
West.
Goes West is the
American
No,
Tail.
American Tail's the first
Yes.
one. American Tail.
Oh, okay.
They're fighting the freaking cats at the end and they're trying to push them off the dock onto the boat. And they build that giant rat with like those wicked glowing eyes and sharp teeth. And it comes out in the sound. Do you remember the sound?
I don't know if I've actually
Dude, I
seen
blocked
American
this
Tail.
out of my
It comes out and it's like.
the second one.
And you're like, we'll have to watch it after this. It is one of the scariest scenes in a movie I've ever seen as a
What's
child.
the movie where they're trying to move the block out from those rats too? They're coming to till the farm.
Isn't that the Rats of Nim?
Yes. That one. Same
Same thing.
that so the Five Goes West thing. We had this conversation, the exact same conversation, a few days ago with Holly. It's one of her favorite shows, and I was like, "This is one of my least favorite shows."
I hated that. Well, because simultaneously with it scaring me, that somewhere out there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
hated that song with a passion. Gets stuck in my head every time, and I hated it.
I'm learning so much about you that I
we
don't
are
like.
weird. I'm not trying to divide the room. This is
You
great
have
for
to-
conversation. Like
You have to
chime
admit,
in.
Tiger in Fievel Goes West is one of the funniest cartoons.
Hilarious.
He's the fat orange cat.
Yeah,
Isn't he?
when he's doing the
fun.
training to become a dog, oh my gosh.
Yes. No,
Funniest scenes.
there are moments that are
Yes.
good. Like, I mean, All Dogs Go to Heaven. I actually watched it multiple times as a child.
Who's the voice character in that?
He's in a lot. I don't know his name. He does a lot of voicing though.
He sounds like the guy in like Caddyshack, Bill Murray.
No, that's not Bill.
It sounds like him a little bit though, doesn't it?
It does.
I thought it was John Candy.
No, he looks like John Candy.
It's my baby booga 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 booga.
No, they were good. Rats and Nim. I actually really liked Rats and Nim.
I did too, but the owl, he's like stomping on the skeletons and stuff.
Oh, and like the talons coming through the
Yes.
frame. Dude, why did they let us watch
that
these things?
terrified me.
Now, the other one that I haven't seen but I've heard is really dark is Bambi. I've heard Bambi starts
freak.
out way
Yeah.
dark.
Disney, like classic Disney.
Doesn't
movie,
it? His
really?
mom died. They both get shot.
Yeah,
His
that was
mom
like
and
my
dad.
first realization that of death. Like that you don't get your mom back.
Mine was probably Fox and the Hound.
And then the dad's like,
Yep.
he's like, she's gone. They're like, come on, let's go. I was like,
No, but
what?
it's like you said, like watching these movies now with your kids, you're like, I don't remember any of this.
Yeah.
You're like, this is
See,
creepy.
I grew up-
like this is dark, sad.
See, and I grew up. So when I like, not to go weird, but like never mind. Shut up.
Just go for it.
When I was 10, my parents divorced, and on the weekends I'd go with my dad. There was a video store called Video Express.
Remember Video Express?
And so on the way to, he'd pick me up at the house, and on our way, we would always stop at Video Express, and we would go straight to the horror section. And 10-year-old me, I'm getting introduced to all the classics. Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween. That's what I grew up on. And so I was numbed to like dark and twisted, so to speak.
See, and I gotta say, those older films where they are like the hack and slash, those never creeped me out. Like I never understood the creepiness behind Freddy Krueger or the Halloween.
I didn't like his face.
Like
See-
I mean, I just at that point it was almost unrealistic to me
The 13th
that it was no
didn't
longer
scare me either
scary.
because
See, that's
like
how
you
I
said,
felt with-
Jason was
so
almost
Nightmare on
over
Elm
the
Street-
top.
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm
But
Street I actually
Halloween
kinda thought
was
was
the
cool.
first
Like
one
Freddy
I
was
remember
amazing.
watching that was realistic enough. It had me terrified.
Now, and this is remember,
Halloween's with the Michael Myers,
Michael
right?
Myers,
The
right?
blue jumpsuit and the mask.
White
He
mask.
is
He goes
He's
after the babysitters.
He's the knife.
he's the guy with the knife, but
Weird
like
hair.
his backstory is he grew up evil, like stomping on birds and stuff.
That's
admitted to
that's
the
in the
psych.
Rob Zombie.
Yeah,
version.
the Rob Zombie, it does the backstory where it shows him killing animals.
So in
and
the
stuff.
original, you really don't know his backstory.
His backstory, the only thing that you really pick up on is that he's actually the older brother of Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, weird.
And so he
didn't know
goes,
that.
he
Older brother? I thought it was his. I thought that was his son.
because it shows at the very
Or son.
beginning when he's a kid, he kills his babysitter. Is it his babysitter
No,
or
it's
is it
his
older?
sister.
It
It's his
is
older
his
sister.
sister. He kills his older sister, and then it just shows a crying baby in the crib. And then he goes to a mental institution because he's only like 10-ish at the time. And
No, it doesn't even show that.
yeah, it does.
Not in the original.
Because it shows him with the mask on, and then it shows it, and the mom shows up. Michael, what's going on? And they rip his mask off, and it
He's
just shows him
he's
standing
just
there.
sitting in front of the house.
What are you doing,
Yeah, but it
son?
still shows. I thought it showed like point of view, him breathing through the mask, and him
Yeah,
trying to-
it's at the house. So he goes through the house,
okay.
kills his sister. Then he goes out
but it
front.
doesn't show the baby.
No, then he
Oh,
goes
okay.
out front, and basically he has his mask on. The parents ripped the clown mask off.
So
he's
And
just
they're like,
standing
yeah,
there with
he's
his
just
mask.
standing there blank face. Now you don't learn. So he tries in the first movie, he tries to kill Laurie Strode. You don't learn that that's his sister until the second movie.
Oh, that's what it is.
So in these new ones that they're making, which completely like got rid of all of that, you don't know that they're brother sister yet.
Okay.
I don't know whether they're going to explain that. In these
Well, didn't the
next
new
two
one?
movies.
The new one that came out was a continuation of those.
It's literally a sequel of the first movie. 2nd through 8 no longer exist.
There were 8 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know.
I thought there were like 2. Yeah, like
2 or 3.
No.
So wait, now this is where, and this is why I didn't want to do my research, because I know someone out there listening is going to be able to relate with me on this. I do not know the backstory. I mean, Freddy is just a nightmare fuel guy, right? Lives in a nightmare.
burned or something. And
He was
So
burned alive.
He was a pedophile.
Yes.
What?
He was.
yeah, not so cool anymore, is he, Tony?
Was he considered a pedophile in the original? I know in the remake they
Didn't we go see the
explicitly
in
like,
the first
expressed that.
in the original.
Didn't we
he's
go see the
still-
remake together?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was good. It was great.
In the original, he same thing.
Okay.
He, I don't know if it's the exact same story, but I know the parents ganged up because they had the suspicion that he would
That's right. Yeah.
kidnap the kids and stuff, and he made the glove with the knife fingers.
Because that's what a normal person does.
Yeah. And the parents ganged up on him, trapped him in the boiler room, and burned him alive.
Got you. And then Michael
came-
Myers is what we just spoke about. Just
Right.
kind of like a kid went crazy, killed babysitter.
He's in the insane asylum. He ends up escaping from the insane asylum, goes back to his hometown.
Got you. And is just out to murder more people.
Pretty much.
And
Jason.
Then Jason.
Well, he's
Jason. I
Michael
knew
Myers
that-
just is after his family,
Oh, okay.
but just kills people if they get in the way. But he's technically just after his family.
Speak real quick. This makes me think of, so with those kinds of horror movies, the bad guys always like impossibly fast. Like they always appear
Superhuman.
in the
stuff.
right place.
Yeah.
But I saw somebody made a video and it was like it was just titled like Michael Myers when the camera's not on him, and he's literally just sprinting everywhere. And as soon as the camera turns on, he's like walking slow. And then the camera moves and he's like sprinting.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. But back on to Michael. Right, or
Jason.
No, Jason.
Jason.
What's his story?
He's at
He doesn't-
Camp Silver Lake, right?
Crystal.
Crystal Lake. There are like 13 of those.
There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a ton of
is-
those ones.
Friday the 13th.
That's
Yeah.
Is that
Is that
Friday
him?
the 13th?
Friday the 13th is Jason.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although Jason
there
doesn't
are
come in
10
until
of
the
those.
sequel. The first one is his mother.
what?
There are 10 of those.
So
Oh.
And then a remake.
Jason's story is so at Camp Crystal Lake, Jason was this deformed, handicapped kid that the other kids end up picking on him, throwing him into the lake as a prank. And while the camp counselors are off doing stuff,
The hanky-panky.
Each other.
They did that.
Jason ends up drowning in the lake.
Okay.
Of course.
And so his mother comes back to the camp for revenge and kills all the camp counselors.
Wow.
Wait, is she wearing the hockey mask?
No.
Okay.
She's just an old lady
She's
wreaking havoc.
She's just
Dude,
doing the killing. in the
I
first
realize I like.
So then where does he come back into play?
So
Second
Jason comes into the second one, and I can't remember exactly. He comes back to life, but now he's big Jason, but he doesn't have the hockey mask yet.
He appears at the end of the first one.
Does he?
The girl gets away, or she thinks she gets away, and then he jumps out from the lake and grabs her and
That's right.
pulls her in. I can't remember if that was a dream sequence or whatever
Now,
it was.
how the
but-
heck do these three guys, between Jason, Freddy, and one totally off topic, Leprechaun,
Dude, the freaking leprechaun!
get
Oh, that was
intertwined
creepy.
into like a universe where they're fighting each other?
No.
Oh, that's no.
There
that
was just Freddy versus Jason.
That was just Freddy
Just
versus
Freddy.
Jason.
But isn't Leprechaun in one of them?
No.
No.
Dude,
Okay.
that leprechaun's effing creepy. I remember that
Do you
guy.
know Jennifer Aniston is in that first
Uh-huh.
one?
Yes.
It was like one of her first movies.
Yes. It was terrible.
It was good. I remember the part when he's chasing after him when they're in the truck and they keep throwing shoes at him because he has to stop and shine the shoes, and so it kept slowing him down.
Wait, what? He has to stop and shine shoes?
Yeah.
He's a leprechaun.
He's a leprechaun.
He's a leprechaun. What a...
Leprechaun shine shoes?
Everybody's voices started to raise.
Now I need to watch this movie. I haven't seen those.
Dude, I
before.
remember. I never.
yeah.
Again, there were so many, just like the boxes of these movies. Because I never saw the movie, but my grandpa had it on VHS, and I remember I would go through his videos to find something to watch, and the freaking cover of that was the leprechaun
Staring
It was-
out behind the door. or
Yeah,
whatever.
dude, it was
Yeah.
terrifying. Like that crap scared me just seeing those little things. And then even back to Jason, the only part I remember of any of those movies, and I don't even think I ever watched even one all the way through. There's these two people hanky panky and in their sleeping bag.
I'd remember that.
He goes up and opens the tent or rips it open or whatever, grabs the top of the sleeping bag so they're stuck in it. He drags them down the road and then out of nowhere beats them against the tree and they just die. He's just whoop, bam, and they just lifeless.
Wow.
That's in the
Yeah, and
that's
I
in the remake.
remember it.
Oh, it's not.
Are you sure that was the
That
part was in the
no,
remake?
this was old.
In the
like,
remake, he traps the girl in the sleeping bag, hangs her in the tree above the fire.
yeah, and this
And the
one
fire cooks her.
it's one of those moments where like he's walking normal and it's like they sped up just the movement of him hitting the tree with the
'Cause I
bag.
remember that.
Yeah.
That's
What the freak? It's like,
In the Jason one too, doesn't his mom like tell him to get out of the grave or something like that? She's
That's
all-
Freddy versus
that's Freddy
Jason.
versus Jason.
Okay, I've seen
But
that.
it's Freddy pretending to be his mom.
Yes.
So in Freddy versus Jason,
How the heck do these worlds
Right?
collide?
dude, I got
so in,
They just needed to make money?
exactly.
No, so Freddy versus Jason, Freddy needs them to remember him.
yeah, so they figured out that
yeah.
Freddy loses his power if nobody remembers him. If they're not dreaming about him, then he has no power. And so the adults, and he only goes after like teenage kids. And so the adults who are aware, they've just killed him off. They like deleted his memory. The few that did live through him, they put him into an in an insane asylum and give him medication that makes it so they can't dream. And then
Oh.
so Freddy, to rebuild his power, he conjures up Jason. He pretends to be Jason's mother, conjures him up, has him go to Elm Street, start slashing people. So now people start spreading rumors. Oh my gosh, is this Freddy again? And the name starts spreading, and it's like a virus. People start hearing the name Freddy, and it builds Freddy's power.
Got you.
I just remember him jumping out of the water.
Yeah.
I remember that too.
I think it was in the preview.
Yeah.
As he jumps out, he's like, ha!
Like on me.
Like freaking
Like a
crouching
cat out of
tiger,
water.
hidden dragon up in here.
Yeah.
Hey, that was freaking cool.
It was cool. It was kind of cool.
Now I'm gonna switch gears here personally because I've got a lot more like my horror / Halloween fun didn't start till way later in my life, well beyond all these horror films. Now I don't know about you guys,
I'm the
but
same way.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're started really young.
See, I was more scared of these things. So I steered clear of Chucky, Jason, Freddy, all those things because just the sight of them scared me. I didn't even have to watch the movie. I got into like Goosebumps, which then turned into like Are You Afraid of the Dark? And then we went into the route of like Twilight Zone and Outer Limits, where they were more like mentally
Sci-fi.
like bending kind of sci-fi stuff. And just like made you think about things in a weird way, and then eventually came back to like ghosts and stuff.
Got you.
Like Tales from the Crypt. Did you ever watch
Tales from the Crypt.
You just reminded me.
Me out.
I used to be, I don't know why, I was always afraid that he was hiding behind my shower curtain.
Just
No
chilling
joke.
at the tub.
Just there. So like if I went to the
storyteller
bathroom,
guy?
yes,
Yeah.
the freaking zombie dude.
The Crypt?
If the freaking
The
shower
crypt keeper.
curtain was shut in the bathroom, I would turn on all the lights and I'd run up to it, throw it open, and then like jump back, and then I could go to the bathroom. Like, I could not go to the bathroom without the curtain open.
I saw this one. It must have been a TikTok, but this guy was standing there next to his, or like taking a pee into his toilet, and all of a sudden he looks at his curtain for no reason other than just to look at it, and then mid pee he just starts punching it.
Dude, I to this day still have that feeling.
And I'm like, I totally can relate to that. Because
Yep.
as a kid, that there's nothing more terrifying than looking underneath your bed and checking
Yep.
what's behind your
I
shower
never
curtain.
ever looked under my bed, and my closet never had a door.
See, my closet was always shut. As far as under the bed thing, if I heard a noise, I just assumed, well, this is it.
This is how I go.
Somehow your bed sheets saved you each and every time. So, but yeah, fast tracking, the very first film that really scared me and kind of got me into the exciting side of scary was Signs.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Sean and I, my best friend growing up, we went and saw Signs probably opening weekend in the theater. And that weekend, he stayed the night at my house and we slept out on the tramp. Well, the tramp was like an easy out for us to sneak out and go do whatever we wanted
Yes.
without my parents knowing. Maybe they knew,
They probably knew.
but we like to think that they didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway, he had a girlfriend who lived a block and a half away. And so we were like, let's sneak over there around 2 a.m. because he really wanted to see her. And so we're out and about, and I like that whole scene of like the crops and like the alien coming out. And you know exactly the scene I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
At the birthday.
They're watching it on
At the
TV.
birthday.
Yeah.
Yes. And that stuff scared me to my core. And we are out walking by this field of crops. And we're like, your mind is running rampant and you just think you hear stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we hear like a horse making sound. And then all of a sudden we see this car coming and we're like, oh crap, we got to hide because we're at that age, underage.
You just hide.
Yeah, we just
just
hide
do.
for whatever stupid reason.
We
You
did it
think-
too. Any headlights, we just hide.
Yeah.
bush.
And so we were hiding behind this rock, and dude, I swear on my life, I heard rustling in the crops, and then like a horse that was making sound, and then instantly stopped. And my mind was just a million miles an hour. And then it clicked. I'm like, I get it. I get the thrill of the horror. And so anyway, we end the night going over there. He got to see his girlfriend, and we got caught, got grounded for a few weekends. And there was that. But that specifically stands out in my memory where the horror, the thrill of the horror started.
Just the adrenaline.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. Like now that you say that, I feel like that's where it really it turned from me being scared of this kind of stuff to like enjoying the adrenaline rush of the fear.
Yes.
Because that's where I am now. Like my mom would ask me all the time, why do you watch these movies? Why do you go searching for scary things? I'm like, because the adrenaline high is fantastic.
Yeah. I don't get this anywhere else.
But like, I got to a point where I loved the twist. And like at that time, M. Night Shyamalan was so good at it.
Yes.
Because I remember The Village, but he doesn't make as much. Unless you've seen The Servant, which is super weird and you all need to watch it.
No.
It's way good.
I honestly...
Split was way good too.
Split was fantastic.
But like, The Village, the twist in The Village...
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it got me so good.
Village was great.
That's the horror I like, is the one that just the anticipation and the twist. I don't like the dark, deep crevices of man, what they are capable of. I just don't like that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of gore.
Me. It's the act of producing the gore. I don't care for it.
But on that, I feel like, and I don't know, but the Saw movies, as far as the twist with the gore, like they were extremely gory and everything, but the twist and stuff, especially the first Saw movie, the twist in that,
fantastic.
Yeah,
that was probably one of the best twists I've ever seen in any movie.
And I still need
to
watch those, but I haven't yet.
You haven't watched the first one?
I've only watched like the newest one, I think. Because I didn't like the gore, because I think going back to my childhood, I was afraid of that stuff.
I know we talked about the spoilers and stuff. I'm not going to spoil it. You have to see this the twist.
The very first one.
But for me with Saw, it would have been a lot better if like the gore, you didn't actually see it happening. Like if it like did a cutscene
Like
of it and your brain knew what happened, but you don't have to watch it.
Kind of implied it.
With you saying that, I have to say this. I think that's where a lot of directors and horror films in general mess up. Is they forget the power of imagination.
Yes.
It can be scarier.
A lot of the times, less is far more.
No, I get what you're saying with
We
that.
watched, I think it was with you, Tony. I think we watched Babadook.
Babadook.
No. I think
that was
the three of us.
Yes.
We watched that, and that movie was so terrifying up until they did the reveal.
Yep.
That's true.
If they left it without revealing that stupid paper animation thing that was going on, that was terrifying.
They did the same thing with Boogeyman. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Terrifying until you actually saw the Boogeyman. And you're like,
oh wait, was the Boogeyman the one with was he like collecting teeth, or what was that?
No, that was
Darkness Falls.
Darkness Falls. That movie was great. See, and now that we bring this all up, it reminds me, I think the other movies, so like Signs and stuff kind of got me into that thriller, like twist, but like the actual movies that got me into like scary movies, The Grudge and The Ring.
Ooh.
See, those did the reverse.
Dude, both of those scared the crap out of me.
And more so, the girl didn't creep me out as much as the VHS tape.
Yes,
that's what got
me. Yes.
Yeah.
Like the lady, sure, she was creepy. It was
Samara was her name.
It was more fun to make the noise and watch the teenage girls creep.
Yeah.
But the VHS tape, like watching that same kind of vibe that I got from Nightmare Before Christmas, but in the way that I liked it. You know what I mean?
No, I know exactly.
It gave you that creepy to the core, but it wasn't like nails on a chalkboard.
So maggots and a gross, like terrifying stuff.
Wasn't there like a fingernail going for a fingernail?
Exactly. But you know what I'm talking about.
The white noise afterwards. The white noise, just the anticipation. I get that. But
well, because they hyped up the VHS so much, you're like, what could be so horrible on this? And it lets your imagination go wild.
It's same with the It movie, like I was talking about earlier. The first It versus the second when we actually see him rip his arm off and stuff. Like he just disappears into that abyss. Like you're just like, oh, what just, you know what I mean?
Like where is he?
Yeah, it lets your imagination be enveloped in that show instead of actually them playing it out for you. In my opinion.
No, I agree with you. Like letting your imagination fill it up, because you can imagine something way worse.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I feel like there's like a movie for me that it had me terrified right up until the end when the big reveal came, and I can't remember what it was now.
But some of those movies have done it right too, to where what you see happening, you're like, ugh.
Yeah. Like I feel like The Grudge and The Ring, specifically is because they weren't like weird CGI baddies, so it didn't lose its quality. Like for some reason, that super pale little Asian kid, oh my gosh, when she lifts up her, like she sees the bump coming down the blanket, she just lifts it up and is like, ugh! that noise. See? When you find a good sound,
that's the noise. And now all of our female listeners are shuddering.
Yep. Fun story. After I watched The Ring with Shailene. This was back like when our friendship all like started.
Yeah.
I watched the movie with her. We went to her house. We were telling her parents about it. I dialed her phone number behind my back. Waited for the perfect moment when she told them about. She's like, "Yeah." Then the phone rings and I hit go and it's like, "Bling." She jumped out of her skin. It was the most perfectly timed.
I was there for that, huh?
Freaking! Oh, it was so good.
I think I remember that.
See, I remember. That was in the apartment, huh?
No, this was at her parents' house.
Oh, I wasn't there then.
I scared her other times, but this was at her parents' house
I remember
specifically.
something like that happening.
Wild.
So going back, what was the boogeyman?
Do you remember?
Because I was thinking it was that. What was the one that I said?
Babadook?
No, the
Darkness
teeth collecting.
Falls.
Darkness Falls.
Darkness Falls.
Speaking of which, there was one night after watching that, I dropped my friend. I want to say it was Tiffany and Brittany. They were the twins. They were twins at my school. I dropped them off at their house, and I had to drive back home through like this weird, creepy part of town, out in like Hooper, right, where it's like it was country.
It was dark.
It was like country back then.
Yeah,
nothing but like trees,
dark,
and pure darkness. And I swear on my life that dang thing was gonna swoop down.
Well, she does in the movie
and land on my car.
Yeah.
So crazy thing with that move was
Back when Evanescence was rocking. Anyway,
not for me, but so my sister growing up was terrified of the tooth fairy. She had to leave her teeth on the kitchen counter.
Smart girl.
She was rifling through my crap.
But no, she really did. I mean, picture whatever age range that you're losing teeth. My sister thought that the tooth fairy was going to come into her room and slaughter her. So she had to leave her teeth on the kitchen counter. Flash forward to Darkness Falls. She said that how they portrayed the tooth fairy in that is how she pictured the tooth fairy.
that is creepy AF.
gross.
Right? I was like, oh my gosh.
So remind me, what happened in the boogeyman?
So the boogeyman, the best way I can kind of describe it. Do you remember that show Seventh Heaven?
Yeah.
Where Jessica Biel kind of got her start.
Yeah.
Remember her older brother?
Yeah.
He was the main guy in the boogeyman.
Okay.
So when he was a kid, he was like tormented by this creature, the boogeyman. Like just a classic boogeyman story. And he grows up and it like somehow comes back. And it's same thing. It's just like creeping in the closet kind of thing. Like the door will slowly open and stuff. And like under the bed. Like the very basic fear. But the only thing I vividly remember about the movie is the reveal of the boogeyman. And he like comes up the stairs at the guy, like coming to get him. He finally sees him. And it was the crappiest CGI, like laughable. Like everything up to that reveal, you're like, and then you see him and you're like, what?
Dude, that reminds me, Jess and I watched a movie where it was like, oh man, I'm going to have to rack my brain on this and maybe you'll be able to correct me. There's like a family staying in a manor and there was a doll and they needed to take care of the doll.
It's called The Doll. Or The Boy.
Or The Boy.
The Boy.
Is it The Boy?
And like the entire time, it is building up suspense.
Like it'll move and like be in different places.
All this creepy stuff is happening. And then at the very end, it's some real person in a wall.
The mask. Yep.
Yeah. And like that's the kind of crappy reveal.
You don't see The Boy?
It's been too long.
He comes out.
Statute of Limitations.
They made a
the
sequel
second
of
one's
it.
out, so
I've actually been dying to watch it. So
it is the one of those terrible reveals that you're like, why?
yeah.
Why would you do that?
You should see the second one.
Is it bad? I haven't seen the second one.
It's sillier. Like
It's
still
so dumb.
here's the thing. The movie is really good. Again, up until the reveal, it's super creepy, suspenseful. Same with the second one. Then the reveal, you're like, I mean, that's okay, I guess.
Now
it's not as scary anymore.
Switching gears even a little bit further back in time, I want to understand. I think I watched it and I didn't understand it at the time, but now I'm wondering if I would. The Blair Witch Project.
I've never.
Oh, I still haven't seen the first one. I saw the second one. Love
That's
it.
me
not
too.
seen that
I
one.
watched it back when it first came out, and I think I was too young to get the horror because
Same.
I was so bored. And then the last 10 minutes terrified me. But I want to go back and rewatch.
Well, I think that movie was more. I feel like, again, because we were all too young to really understand it, but I think the thrill was the fact that most kids who went and watched it were doing it against their parents' wishes. Like real life. Like,
Yeah.
everyone was sneaking to go see this movie because it was so terrifying.
Well, and I think it was the first of its kind to do that
Found footage.
realistic.
It was like a vlog.
it was the found footage type thing. Like,
Now, and here's the other thing. I remember when I know I watched it, but I do not remember it. I want to say I was there on a date, and it was one of those things where I was so against getting scared and getting sucked into the story that I was making fun of the entire thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, sticks in the trees? What? That's stupid.
trees are made of sticks.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves with haunted houses. People walking through a haunted house. Oh, you're not even scary. Oh, you just paid $25 to not be scared. Good for you.
To sit and talk. That's the dude who got picked last in gym class.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you bring up a very good point with scary movies or scary things in general, because I'll get silly scientific on you. Your body has fight or flight.
yeah.
Humor, laughing, completely negates the fight or flight
So they're really scared.
response. Yeah. So when you are actually laughing or you think something's funny, your body doesn't have the fight or flight response. And so with scary movies, I always allow myself to like feed into it and be scared by it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's where the joy comes from.
But see, and that was my junior high self who literally was scared of everything.
Or you want to impress someone.
Yeah.
Well, and that brings up another good point. I have always found that if I'm there with someone else, I'm empowered by them to not be scared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah.
you're there with someone else, you all of a sudden aren't as scared because you feel like you have to have this protection of them. And so you're the strong, like it empowers you, it makes you stronger and
See,
less fearful.
For me, it depends on who I'm with. I watch a horror movie with Zach, and this guy gets scared of everything. And so I feed off of that and get scared of everything.
Yes.
You get anxiety over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like if I watch it, yeah, I don't know. With,
I think
like
it's more so
Jenny
like a
or
protective
something.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because I can watch a movie with Jenny. Like we went and saw Annabelle Homecoming.
Yes.
And
Love those
we were in the theater, and it was a cheap night, so surprisingly, the theater was actually really full. We ended up on like the second row, and I was terrified. Flash forward, I ended up buying the movie, watched it with Jenny, and it was still scary, but I was like, okay, it's not too bad. It wasn't like it was in the theater.
I love those movies.
Any of the Conjuring movies?
Yes.
Oh
I
my
need to
gosh.
rewatch some of those.
Yes.
Now, going on that same topic, in junior high, I remember going to Lagoon on a date. I think my girlfriend at the time was a girl named Katie, if I'm remembering her name correctly. And I remember we went on the stupid horror ride there.
Yes.
Terror
the terror ride.
The terror ride.
Or Dracula's Castle.
Oh, no, it was Dracula's Castle.
Was the one with the ending, with the crazy ending at it.
The
I know what you're talking
honk.
No, that's
Yeah,
the terror ride.
that's terror.
Yeah, terror
Okay.
ride has the bus.
Which one's the one you thinking of?
Yeah, the
One that has
bus.
a honk on it.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
terrible.
So, but we're going through that thing, and I'm like, at that time in my life, I absolutely hated everything to do with horror, and I was like, I'm gonna not crap my pants on this ride, and I'm gonna like pretend to be so strong, and I made it out of that thing like sweating bullets, and I was like,
I'm a real boy.
adrenaline through the roof, and I'm like, I lived, I'm good, okay.
So seeing like it's kind of interesting. And talking about this now, we see more that like me, Austin, and Chris all kind of fell in love with horror later in life.
Exactly.
More so for like an adrenaline, like right. That is with you, Chris, right? It's like an
Yeah.
adrenaline thing.
Well, yeah.
Whereas I feel like so Zach and Tony, like you guys more so fell in love with it as a love passed on from someone. Like, because that's kind of what you were saying, Tony. Like your dad was into that stuff.
yeah, he
Or like
showed
an
me
art
all
of
that.
it. The art of
Yeah.
creating terror.
I would say the movies for sure, and then I don't know if the movies or what, but like dressing up for Halloween, I've always loved dressing up and being like something else.
You're very artistic in that aspect of doing that.
Yeah, I'll dress up every Halloween for the rest of my life.
Now,
Yes.
I'm gonna. Sorry, you brought up a very valid point. Or no, it was you. I'm sorry.
Creative.
Maybe I can't remember who said it now.
He's pointing at Cam and Tony.
Cam and Tony. One of you mentioned about watching a horror film by yourself.
We were talking about watching with somebody or whatever.
You're empowered to be kind of protect them so you don't get as scared.
Yeah. I got you. So
But by yourself.
I had this experience for the first time in my life last year. Watching a horror film by myself. Actually, it wasn't a film. It was a series.
Oh, yes.
The Haunting of Hill House. So I watched it by myself.
That's retarded.
In the dark. Late at night. And I have never had more of an adrenaline rush watching that show. It is the most well done horror film show.
It was great.
Yes.
Across the board, it is so extremely well done that there is a point in that film where I was so scared I was crying.
Yes.
Like not sobbing, not like like tears were running down my face because I was scared.
Yeah.
Question
Crazy.
for you.
Yes.
So, if you were to watch it with somebody else, would you enjoy it more with somebody, or are you like, no, this needed to happen by myself?
I think I enjoyed it by myself, but I'm very excited to watch it with my wife.
Okay.
I think on that note, like, because I've gone to a number of movies by myself, just cause. Like, I didn't need someone to be there. Like, if I want to go see a movie, no one wanted to go, I would still go. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that is one of the coolest experiences because you can truly have your own opinion of the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When you're with someone, if none of you have ever seen it before, you all kind of talk about it and your opinion morphs to kind of the people with you. If you're taking someone to a movie you've already seen, the whole time you're concerned about what they're going to think because you're like, I like it. I hope they like it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna reveal something. I don't mind. I have to watch a horror film by myself. Like Lisa would watch with me, and I can't get into it because the whole time she's like, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, I just want to watch this show. I hate saying it. I sound like a jerk. I do.
No, I get it.
It's the truth. Like, I'm like, no, I just want to watch this show. Like, I don't like slasher movies and stuff, but I do like mind bend, like suspenseful, like.
And that is exactly what the Haunting of Hill House is. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
Watch it, dude. They're coming out with the next season, Bly Manor.
Wait, what's it on?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
I can guarantee
There's
you.
like 12 episodes.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think it was.
It is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Literally,
It's
like,
so good.
horror aside, literally in my top 5.
Like, fantastically
So
thought
good.
out.
It is
Haunting of House.
Haunting of Hill House.
Hill House.
The Haunting
Dude,
of
it
Hill
is-
House, and the next one is The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Yeah, and it comes
So
out
good.
October 8th.
I don't remember.
I can't remember either.
October
But
something.
The Haunting of Hill House, the thing you need to know going in is it's 5 siblings and 5 different perspectives.
Okay.
Because that is extremely confusing when you're watching it without knowing that.
It's kind of like The Witcher.
I think Austin was like, you were like 2 or 3 episodes in, and I told you, I'm like, okay, I hope this isn't a spoiler, but you got to know this, and it helps you follow it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Because,
I'll watch it.
there's 3 different
Definitely
timelines
worth
and 5 different perspectives. And in the first few episodes, you're like, what the F is going on? Because you're just all over the place.
it's so good.
I'll check
I
it out.
freaking love that
Dude,
movie so much.
I'm already excited for you to go watch it.
I'll have to do it not in my bedroom, though, because I guarantee Lisa will be like doing. She does weird stuff when she sleeps. She'll be like, she makes weird noises when she sleeps.
She pops up under the covers.
But one night she was, and I wake up, I'm like,
Did you punch her in the face? I would have.
no. Well, I was wondering what's going on, and I see it's come from her. And all of a sudden, she's all, and stares at me with this blank face and reaches her hand out.
That would have been a clear sign
an
for
elbow
a
to
punch
the
to the
throat.
face.
She reaches her hand out. She goes, what?
water.
What just happened?
Dude, I remember one time, I don't know what this is. She almost has a power for like making you feel what she feels.
Yeah.
This one time, I don't even know why this happened. I think we were in the apartment.
Period?
No. Different kind of fear. She like, I think I scared her or something, but she screamed and like locked eyes with me, and her scream terrified me, and I screamed back at her.
She's like, "You're in this with me."
I like
committed.
Locked in. It was the weirdest thing because I felt instantly terrified for scaring
And you
her.
were breaking her.
It was so weird. Oh, powerful stuff.
So the whole waking up thing, if you have kids, you could maybe understand how terrifying kids are.
Oh, bro.
Oh, man. So my daughter, when she was younger, was queen at horror and didn't even realize it. So one time, we were living in my in-laws' basement, and there was one time she kind of had her own little like nook area that was just on the other side of the wall from us, because it was an unfinished basement that we kind of makeshifted into a living area. And
So
also,
really just the other side of the curtain.
basically, well, it was sheetrock. We actually had sheetrock up. But anyway, so I hear her saying, "Dad." I'm like, "What, Bryn?" "Dad, come here." "What, Brinley? Just tell me." She's like, "Dad, come here." So I get up and I go around. She's fast asleep. And I'm just like, okay, I'm going back to bed.
That's nightmare fuel right
Dear
there.
child, where are you?
So then,
Are you my baby?
so then not same thing, but then another situation was, again, I heard scratching under our bed. And
Get out!
Shut up.
And I'm just like, and I'm laying there trying to go to sleep, and I'm like, did I just hear that? And I hear it again. And so this is me as an adult, so I have the slight bravery to look. I look under the bed, and it's freaking Brinley under the bed. And I'm like,
What is she doing?
I'm like, go to bed. What are you doing up?
What was she doing?
She was just under our bed. Just because she didn't want to go to sleep yet.
Oh.
I'm like, freaking child. Oh my god.
Could have been killed. No.
If kids understood how terrifying they could be, they would rule the world.
See, and I was that kid. I would sleepwalk to my parents' room and stand at the foot of their bed and talk to them.
Bro, that's a
Say
karate
nonsense.
kick to the face.
You know, like luckily they had a giant water bed, so their feet didn't reach over the edge. I was probably a good like 3 feet away from the bottom of their feet.
This exactly is the reason why my door will be locked.
Dude, here's the thing though, like Kaylee, when me and Shaylee first got married, Kaylee at that point had been sleeping in, like her bed was right next to Shaylee's bed where they lived before, and so she would end up in Shaylee's bed. So she always slept with someone. And when we got married, I was like, nope, you got your own bed, get out of here. And so almost every night she would come into our room, stand next to me. So I'm fast asleep and I'm facing like where she could stand, right? I'm just asleep. And she would stand there and be like, Dad. Like whisper, right? To the point of like your brain's like, something's happening. And so you open your eyes and see this human just staring you in the face. And every time, dude, I had to refrain from socking her. Just out of reflex.
Yes.
Because I'd be like, what?
So, Brinley again, one time, it actually happened to Zach's wife, Kara.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Here we
Yeah.
So me and Tony were downstairs watching a movie.
Okay.
Is that what it was?
No, it was me, you, and Jenny. We decided we'll go downstairs and watch a scary movie. Kara doesn't do scary movies.
Okay.
So she stayed upstairs.
I couldn't remember if you guys were just babysitting the kids, but
No, we were downstairs. She went upstairs into the bedroom, and then the girls were in the living room watching another movie. And Kara kind of nodded off. And I don't remember exactly what happened from there. But
Kara went into your guys' bed and she had the TV on and stuff, but she went into your bed and fell asleep.
Yeah.
And your girls are used to going to bed early too, so they were all asleep. Our kids don't go to bed till a little bit later, even though I think Jude had fallen asleep. Well, Brinley, wide awake, conscious, who knows, or what was going on, but she goes and stands on Zach and Kara's bed and just stares at Kara sleeping.
Are you kidding me?
And this is what's funny about Brindley. I love Brindley, and I love that she has this like crazy calm demeanor.
She really does.
Like
Yes,
it's
wildly just like she can stand there with no emotion at all.
No expression.
Yes.
it's been said before. Someone put it once that she's got an old soul.
An
And I think
old,
that fits
emotionless soul.
She's the only child who's been able to belittle me. Like, belittle.
With just a look.
Just a look, not saying anything, just stare at you, and you're like, what did I do? Like, what?
Yeah.
But like, I
She's
can
got
only,
that really. She's tall and like lanky,
just like Tony.
just like Tony.
And Jenny.
And yeah, she's got that like really calm, almost murderous demeanor.
She
Which,
does.
waking up to, I could understand being terrified.
Like,
Well,
if
that's the thing.
But
if
and I
remember
hope
right.
you don't take that the wrong way. I love Brindley. She's one of
I
my
think she's
favorite
funny
little
too,
kids.
though. Like that's the other thing is she's
Every
so
time she comes around, I just love her.
she's so emotionless. You're not ready for her humor, and it just comes out of nowhere, and you're like, oh, that was good.
yeah.
yeah.
She's quick and dry.
I love it.
She puts me in
yes.
my place sometimes, and I'm like, touche.
You had a comment to that, didn't you, Zach? Or you were about to say something.
About the
I got cut off. It's good. I forgot. So
Oh, it's like Tony. It was Tony last time. But wait, so Kara was asleep, and Brindley was standing there, and then what happened? Like, did Brindley do anything,
No,
or
didn't say anything. I think Kara almost just got that
Yeah, just
feeling
the
that
sense
she
of
knew
someone's
somebody
watching
was
me.
there.
Isn't that weird how you can pick up that someone's watching you?
feel it? I hate it.
You can
hate everything
feel
about
it?
it. Yep.
But yeah, she just woke up. She's like, "What do you need, Bryn?" And I actually don't even remember from that point what happened.
You're soft.
You need to train her to do
Like
that.
Adam's, what's the girl on Wednesday on the
Wednesday.
Adams Family? She can give you that look,
Yes.
like swear, like yes.
So we've been
While holding a
trying.
hatchet.
We've been trying for like the last 3 years to talk our kids into that because we think Brinley would be the perfect Wednesday and Jude would be the perfect
Bro,
Huxley.
you are right.
Right? And then Zach has said
I
he's
want to
like
go even further, and I want to be
Wanna be
Uncle.
Uncle Fester.
Fester. He's the
Yes.
hairy dude, isn't he?
No,
he's the
No,
bald
He has
guy.
no hair whatsoever.
The hairy guy is it.
Cousin
Yes,
It.
Cousin It.
yeah,
Yeah, I want to turn around and be Uncle.
Who's
Fester.
going to be
You can do
Elvira?
that.
I know.
you'd have to.
Oh, wait, no,
shave
that's not.
I know. That was
What's the name of the
plan.
wife?
I think you're right.
Morticia.
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 Jenny would be Morticia. I would be
Is Elvira
Gomez.
that lady with the big boobs?
Yeah, that's what
Okay,
I was
I know what you're
thinking.
talking
I'm
about.
sorry. I was
I
like,
know
who's
what
going to be her?
Dibs.
Yes! Cam, be Elvira.
Oh my gosh.
Please be Elvira.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, I feel a Men Try video coming on. Okay. So after I've gained my passion for the thrill of the horror, comes along a nifty little show, a nifty little movie named Paranormal Activity.
Oh yeah.
See, I
See, I
feel
was
like
gone when it first came out.
I'm out on that.
kind of back on the Blair Witch. I think
do demonic
Paranormal
stuff.
Activity is our Blair Witch
Exactly.
because we were old enough to understand it.
Well,
Yes.
that was kind of like our generation's like big horror movies.
Now here's
'Cause they got huge.
Here's the thing that I think a lot of horror films need to take into account. I think they all need to take their budget and hack it into like a fourth. Because when you have a super small budget, you get really creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you turn it realistic.
Yes. Because you look at the films like Paranormal Activity, like Blair Witch, dude, movies like that had literally no budget.
I want to say I heard somewhere Paranormal Activity literally had like $11,000.
It was, I want to
Wow.
say, it was like $18,000 or so. Yeah, it was super low, less than a car. And it was all shot, I want to say, within a weekend.
Yeah, and it was shot in the director's house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I want to say the cast was like his immediate friends.
Yeah, I think it was.
Like, could you imagine? We're sitting around a table. I'm pretty sure between the 5 of us, we could muster up $20K.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We could make a blockbuster film in a weekend.
Well, that's just it. I think it's the highest grossing movie. Well,
I'm the inbred.
it's the highest. It's the highest grossing in the sense that they made it for the somewhere double digits of or like a couple $1,000s, and then sold it to Paramount for millions. And it was. And then the sequel, I want to say the sequel, if you've seen it, that house, which is big and nice and stuff, is the same house that the first one shot in, but he just took his money and
added on to it.
Major remodel.
I want to say it was his new house, but it was still
Is that
his
what it was?
house.
Okay, maybe that was it. But
Smart. I mean, you got a winning combo. Keep going with it.
So there you go, giving an idea. The budget was $15,000.
15K. 15.
Worldwide gross was $193 million.
All I can, dude, I've got 15K. Let's make a film.
Let's do it.
Like, let's do it.
to turn around and profit that.
Heck
Yeah. So,
We've got enough mind in here between.
yeah, we've got these two creeps.
Yeah. Yes. Our very own Tim Burton.
No button
Tim
eyes.
and Burton.
So,
No button eyes.
no button eyes, please.
Isn't that in the movie Seven?
No, it was a reference back to
What's in the box?
the Coraline.
Coraline,
Coraline. But paranormal, at the time, I was dating a girl, and we had a flight of stairs up to our master. It wasn't the exact same setup as what they had in that film, but I remember like that horrific scene of the girl
Getting
just
dragged.
being dragged out from her bed.
Doesn't her leg
which-
like slowly come out and then?
That's why you never leave your leg outside of the sheets.
Well, and here, and
I
this,
still don't.
and this
Open
is
force
that
field.
spin. This is that spin, right? This is the realism. In your mind as a person, when you're laying in your bed, I've heard a lot, like majority of people will put their feet inside their comforter, right? That's their like, if your feet are out, monsters are going to get you. If they're not, you're safe. This movie,
Played on that.
They
Played
came
on
up under the freaking blanket.
they came up under the blanket.
She
if I
was
remember right.
protected.
And she was yanked out of her bed.
It blew the sheet off of her foot. That's what it was.
Bingo.
So
That's
it
Played on
exposed her foot.
natural fear.
See, and here's what's funny is I sleep with one foot under the comforter and one out to stay cool, to like
Same.
regulate my temperature.
Exactly.
So we're gonna grab the
But-
foot that's under the comforter.
But yeah, right. But I do not ever let my foot hang over the side.
No.
Oh, see,
the
I
bottom.
do. I do all the time.
No.
See, I won't.
No.
I do all the
But
time.
it can be out of the
will
comforter.
definitely tickle your foot.
Yep.
It's
I
the
will-
most comfortable spot, letting one hang over.
Bingo. I will even flip over onto my belly and both my feet will hang off the edge because it's just then my feet are straight.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you're asking for it.
I do that too.
Hey, what?
Exactly.
Whoa.
So I'd bend over, or I'd bend over.
Whoa!
Oh, you're doing
My goodness!
Talking horror movie.
We did warn parental advisory.
So I flip over and then I push myself away so my feet are hanging off because nobody wants your feet
What?
hanging toes pointed out. You just
Bingo.
it's so much more comfortable.
Dude, great.
I just don't sleep on my
We gotta
stomach.
do it
I did when I was younger. Don't anymore.
Yeah, I find myself.
See, I sleep in a way where if I'm on my stomach, my feet are like sideways. Like, I don't know. But
Scary.
But that movie, and with my girlfriend at the time, I was young, man, that movie scared me to my core. Like, I just imagined my girlfriend being yanked down and down the stairs, and I would like have to run out and chase her.
well, that scene, yeah, like even when they put the powder on the ground and you see the footsteps in the powder, like the leading up to her getting dragged. When she got dragged, I remember being in that theater, and that was the first time since I was 10 years old watching a horror movie that I wanted to cry.
You did
Yeah.
death moan.
You know what I mean? Though? But I was just like, I could feel it. I just wanted to cry, and I like debated walking out of the theater. I was so scared.
That was one of their selling points too.
I won't-
I remember that.
I
then
won't do those movies. I can't.
Have you not seen any of them?
No, I can't. Like
See,
that's
he's
realistic
experienced
demonic
it.
stuff because real life experiences,
Yes.
which we're not going to get into. But
Yeah.
Oh, that's coming up
That's
in
Chicana.
an upcoming podcast.
Oh, go ahead.
But yeah, I was just gonna just say that that's why I can't do those, because
Oh, I get that sentiment.
They get like just from preview. I seen the previews and I was like my heart like iced just because I was like, they hit that on.
See, and I feel like kind of on the whole like rush of a horror movie. As much as I hate to say it, that's why I like those ones, is because this sounds terrible, but I believe in the devil, you know, and so watching these, knowing it could happen, is what
scarier.
Gives me that rush. Like the Conjuring movies, I feel like the Conjurings 1 and 2 are fantastic, beginning to end, because I'm terrified, and they had angles of horror that was perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
No, I completely agree, because like that's my thing with like super gory movies. I'm not as afraid of them.
I watch it for the special effects.
And that's the thing, is I'm not as afraid of them because I also don't see it being really real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas like Paranormal Activity, ghost-like movies, or bordering on the demonic, because I can't go too far, because same thing, Chris. Like I know it's real, and so I get, if it goes too far, it's too scary for me. It's too real life for me.
Well, I even go a step further and think that like it kind of leaves my mind open. Leaves my mind open to it happening again. You know, so yeah.
No, I get that. I completely get that.
Now, for me, not so much the case. I mean, I do believe, but not in the paranormal in a way. Like I've always wanted. I dance on that fence where I'm like, I would love to believe. I've just never seen anything.
You've never
to prove it.
You've never had it.
So the closest to home for me that really rattled my core, terrified me to bits, was after that girlfriend, after Paranormal, all that stuff, and I was left into my house by myself. A brilliant friend of mine suggested I watch Strangers. By myself.
So good.
In the dark. At my house, and I got to experience all the thrill that Strangers has to offer.
See, and that's something that could happen.
And that is exactly what
Shut up.
Yes, that is based on a true story.
They never caught him.
So we've all seen it, right?
I've never seen it.
You've never seen it?
No.
You got to see that one.
Okay.
I swear, I feel like it was Lisa that showed it to me.
And
Who showed me that thing?
dude,
Was it me that suggested it?
She's worse.
I think
than
it
I am
was.
with scary movies.
I want to say it was you. I couldn't remember exactly, but I
spoil it. It's been.
I think, in all fairness, I think I told you don't watch it alone.
Yeah, you probably did.
Well, and I'll say this, if you're not too, it's not. I mean, it's kind of a spoiler, but it's not. But basically, like the thing about that movie that like scared me the most, like kind of messed me up for a little bit, was that small part where she's like, "Why?"
Yep.
And they straight up are like, "Because you were home." I was like, "That's not a good reason. It's just effed up.
There's no motive."
That is exactly why it scared me so badly. Is because it was the culmination of. It could happen.
Yeah, there was
could be next.
Well, because in other situations, you're like, I'm exempt from this. I'm not a virgin. Like I can't die. I have kids now. Like, you know what I mean? That trope that like the virgins die.
It's
the virgin who survives. Oh, balls.
Rule number 1 is you can't have sex.
True, but you know what I mean? Like, you could watch these movies and like, I'm nowhere near any of these situations where this would happen.
Yeah.
But then when they're straight up like, there's no situation, it don't matter, I just gonna kill you because you're here. I'm like, no, that's not cool. I'm not safe anymore.
Yep. That line, I think, is the one that literally brought it down to a personal level, and is why
Well, the way they just toyed with them at first.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just chilled you down, like fully exposed you.
Well, it started with just simple little things, like they doorbell ditched them, like just kind of knocking on the door and stuff, and just creepy little things here and there just to toy with them enough to start screwing with
And then they're
their
like
head.
out there in their truck, sitting on the truck bed,
those masks.
just kind of like looking into the house, and you're like,
they definitely made them aware they were there.
Well, and
there
you
was
think
no secret about it.
yeah.
you think about it, like Halloween, you always have those weird, just kind of grotesque monster-looking masks. I never found those things super scary. What I found scary was those masks, like simple, basic, creepy masks, terrifying. But honestly, like on that note, I think this is the perfect segue to set up the next episode of Five's a Crowd, which we will be talking about our own paranormal experiences.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh, that's already a heavy subject.
Oh, that
man.
one's gonna be good. Because if you guys have learned anything from this episode, we are all basically like fear buffs in a way. Not even just horror, just like fear buffs. Like seeing scary movies and getting that adrenaline rush. Well, we've all taken it to that next step to where we've sought out and hunted for these ghosts. And I feel like between the five of us, we've got some pretty interesting stories. Especially if Chris has alluded to it at all. He's got some pretty
gnarly
tales.
So you're willing to share.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got some that he'll share for sure. There might be some he'll hold to the chest, and that's okay. But we've got some good stories for you next time, so make sure you guys stick around. Follow us up on the next podcast that'll be coming out here soon in this great fear month that is October.
Make sure you hit those follow buttons, those subscribe buttons.
Whatever buttons there are to make sure you know we're here.
We're available on all platforms.
All of them.
So make sure you follow it on everything.
Thanks, guys. You have a great day. We'll see you next time.
Love you. Bye.